By summer 1945, Germany had fallen, but the war against Japan was still raging. Japan's leaders had not accepted surrender, even as American forces closed in. American planners prepared for the largest invasion operation ever considered by the United States. A global from Salite, it's 50 inch from sail, the fern Jormiji, impact in the Sinisher. The invasion plan was called Operation Downfall, divided into two major campaigns.
Taskalfightkotsa, Okunism, Ogapus, Paritsa, Etapti, Datsa, Datit, Kyuki, Dati Saman.
The first phase, Olympic, was planned for a landing on southern Kyushu in November 1945.
Offered airfields that could support later operations farther north.
The second phase, Coronet, was planned for March 1946, near Tokyo.
A quite 20 point.
For Olympic, American planners prepared hundreds of thousands of troops for the initial landing.
Such an invasion required enormous supplies: fuel, ammunition, ships, and medical support. Across the Pacific, the American Navy prepared the fleet for the invasion.
American troops trained for difficult beach landings and heavy resistance.
Japan strengthened defenses around likely landing areas and mobilized its forces. Japan planned to use regular troops, reserves, and civilian defense groups.
For Japan, the coming battle would be fought on the homeland itself. Okinawa had shown American commanders how costly Japan's defense could become.
The losses at Okinawa made an invasion of Japan deeply troubling. General Douglas MacArthur was chosen to command the planned invasion. Ekpaktia.
The planned beaches looked peaceful, but defenses were being built nearby.
Japanese troops strengthened caves, tunnels, and hidden defensive positions. A Kishinaclode is needed for gateway to his intensity, happens.
Japan also prepared aircraft for desperate attacks against the invasion fleet.
American bombers were also devastating Japanese cities from the air. Tokyo had suffered devastating air raids, yet Japan still had not surrendered. At the same time, America was developing a weapon unlike anything used before. On July 16th, the world's first atomic bomb was successfully tested in New Mexico. The successful test gave American leaders a powerful new option.
The dies gives above it Remilik expent and a one-way road. Figures put Catholic devovia abutment, din we disuse take right in the Tungo Tau.
In July, Allied leaders demanded Japan's unconditional surrender through the Potsdam Declaration. Japan did not accept the declaration, so the invasion plans remained active. Hiapolching flight tutuan defensible chambe kan riv gifiko thitasekati. And the Dakid. The Confederate. Tokyo had suffered devastating air raids, yet Japan still had not surrendered. On August 8, the Soviet Union declared war on Japan and entered the conflict in Asia.
On August 9th, a second atomic bomb struck Nagasaki, deepening the crisis.
Even then, Operation Downfall remained the contingency plan if Japan refused to surrender. Operation Olympic was scheduled for November 1, 1945, only weeks away.
Ships, troops, and equipment continued moving toward the planned invasion. American soldiers continued training without knowing if the invasion would happen.
Japanese commanders studied the same geography and prepared their defenses. Japan's Ketsugo strategy called for a decisive defense against invasion.
Japanese aircraft were also prepared to attack the American fleet. If Olympic succeeded, Coronet would follow near Tokyo. All bound took arbediously heimsent, tanko kane from Topas, von form not wreck billers down. Is men counting direction like folks. The Kanto Plain offered space for a huge invasion force near Japan's political center.
American leaders feared an invasion could cause enormous casualties.
Large numbers of Purple Hearts were prepared for possible invasion casualties. President Truman faced a difficult choice over how to end the war.
Inside Japan, Emperor Hirohito feared that continued war would bring greater destruction.
Japan's leaders remained divided over whether to accept surrender.
On August 10th, Japan indicated willingness to surrender while preserving the emperor's position.
The Allies responded, leaving the final decision with Japan's leadership.
The points meant want to be in the Bansha to Hiam, Uri, Friedman, Pass.
Some Japanese officers still opposed surrender, creating a final crisis in Tokyo. On August 14th, Hirohito recorded the speech that would announce Japan's surrender. On August 15th, Japanese people heard their emperor announce the surrender. With Japan's surrender announced, Operation Olympic was no longer needed.
The invasion fleet that might have sailed for Kyushu never had to make the journey.
Coronet, planned for March 1946, also disappeared from the calendar.
On September 2nd, Japan formally signed the surrender aboard USS Missouri.
For many American soldiers, surrender meant going home instead of invading Japan. The beaches planned for Olympic never saw the American landing. Had the invasion happened, both sides could have faced an enormous battle. Because the invasion never happened, its exact casualties can never be known.
Instead of invasion, Japan entered occupation, reconstruction, and a new political era.
Operation Downfall remains a great historical what-if. An invasion planned in detail, but never carried out.